There'll be also prizes for the speaker. We'll do a Price is Right rule. Whoever gets closest to 5 minutes without going over 5 minutes will get a prize.
Okay. New goals. Just weave that in there. Okay.
So I'll be calling up one at a time. We're not going to do questions. So again, keeping it quick and fast. If you have questions, save them to the end. There'll be time after all of them to go. Right now we have 9 people signed up. So if you are interested, we still have a couple of slots left. We'll be at the last 9. So we have about 45 minutes to figure it out. All right. You good to go?
Yep. Good to go.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Jo Michele. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Woo!
Woo! Not too far. I've been looking at, pretty recently, 82 game trends. So basically looking at an entire season and how can you expect whatever metric you'd like to change throughout a season. In particular here, I'm looking at expected goals, especially since they're based on historic season averages. You might expect those to fluctuate throughout the year. Are we more predictive at the beginning of the season? My hypothesis is that we can get a better reading of actual goals from expected goals at the end of the season under the assumption that things are fluky or chemistry doesn't exist as well at the beginning of the season. So that was the hypothesis. The most simple example of an 82 game trend, I'm actually just going to start right here. Our goal is really more difficult to come by later in the season. That's a pretty well-known thing that gets thrown around very quickly here. They aren't. Even with a pretty big increase in penalties historically at the beginning of the season, doesn't seem to too much affect both the bottom line there, which is even strength goals, and the top one, which is all situations, which actually was kind of surprising. I at least expected the all situations goals to come up a bit. So again, most of this I've already mentioned, not to get too bogged down in it. I'm looking at expected goal differential, right, between actual goals and expected goals. Again, trying to get a pulse on if there's a point in the season where we're more or less reliant on those metrics. I've taken data mostly from Corsica, so Manny, Alex, and then also Manny again. From 2007 forward. I did remove the lockout year because I long-term really like to look at this from environmental factors, right? Like Christmas, trade deadline, that kind of stuff in a shortened season naturally conflicts with that. I use 5-game rolling averages to kind of smooth the data visualizations. So games 1 through 4 are not available on any of these. So, in following up that first question, I just wanted to simply know our expected goals were difficult to come by later in the season. And actually pretty similar to the even strength goals trend, which was just a slight hair of an increase throughout the season. It's pretty even, but actually technically trends up slightly. Okay, here's where kind of the meat of things are. I used a simple absolute value calculation of the difference between goals for and expected goals for, and then plotted that out across all of the seasons, all of the teams. And unlike my hypothesis, there really isn't a difference in the raw values of goals for and expected goals for. What was really interesting though is I kind of on a whim threw out the difference between the percentage values of these, since we use goals for percentage and expected goals for percentage more frequently than the raw values anyway. And that did decrease. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know why that is yet. So again, we have open latent talks at the end, so if somebody can think that through and figure out why one of them goes down and not the other one, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, just quick traps to avoid. These graphs don't tell you which direction things are trending in. This is an absolute value function, so it doesn't tell you if teams are over or underperforming at the end of the season, though I'd be really interested long-term to look at team-wide trends of overperformance or underperformance. And I'd like to look at how teams fluctuate here. The only other thing that super stuck out to me is, again, in paying attention to potential environmental factors, there's this 40-game flux that I noticed. Right there along the bottom, you notice around game 40, 45, 50, something funky. It's either a bump or a dip, and so I'd love to put that up against a calendar and see where those 40s to 50s sit. Special shout out to Hockey Graphs and the Hockey Graphs mentorship program. Thanks to Alex for being an awesome mentor, and thanks to Corsica Hockey for making all that data available to people who can't scrape like me. And there's my dog.
Thank you. Just a quick switch up in the lightning talk order, just because